Welcome to the Dome. It's round 22. It is Carlton versus Hawthorn. A very exciting night ahead of us. Bit of history in the making, perhaps, Robert Walls tonight, with Lance Franklin needing 2 goals for his 100 and Brendan Favola needing 8 for his ton. So who knows what we might see tonight out on the ground.
Well, it's exciting, isn't it, Quarters? It's really like a final, like the anticipation in the crowd. Lots of people here. They're bulging at the seams, the Telstra Dome. And I'm excited because it's been a long time since I've seen a player kick 100 goals, and we might see 2 do it tonight.
Well, here's the Carlton lineup. A couple of late changes. Scotland and Carrazzo are out, so that's going to hurt the Blues, and Austin and Pfeiffer come in.
Well, that's right. Carrazzo and Scotland, they're regulars, so they'll miss them. But look, this is a young developing team. They've had a pretty good season, the Blues. If they finish with a win over Hawthorn, that'd cap it off. But all eyes on Favola at full forward.
Well, it's a big night for the Hawks because they're looking ahead towards September and they're in good position to give it a flag a tilt.
Look, over the last 3 or 4 seasons, this team's improved out of sight. It's been a really strong rise up the ladder from the bottom, and they're every chance to play in the grand final this year. Franklin and Roughhead, the key forwards, they've been wonderful.
So lots to look forward to tonight with Franklin and Favola in a shootout here at the Dome. Let's get into the action. So big night ahead of the Dome, round 22. Can Carlton finish its season on a high? Will the Hawks notch their 17th win of the season? And why not Chris Judd, first touch of the night? What a season he's had for Carlton, first year in the navy blue. Osborne caught a little bit high, and that's the way the umpire sees it.
Thanks, Brendan.
There's Brendan Favola on screen. He's pushed right up to the middle of the ground to start off.
Well, Roughhead's got rid of Thornton, and he marks uncontested. He just threw him off like a rag doll and has taken an easy mark, and he is well within range, is Jared Roughhead.
With all the attention on Franklin tonight, Dash, Roughhead might get some space.
He might kick himself.
Well, he's kicked 61 for the season, so he's no slouch.
He needs 39 to get the 100 tonight.
Jared Roughhead. Misses to the left, so Hawks are behind, Blues yet to score.
And the Hawks immediately set up an 18-man zone defence for the Carlton kick-in. They don't go on direct players, they just fill space.
Oh, terrible kick-in from Judd. Tough for Murphy. There's Williams working overtime. Osborne just sweating off the pack. And Murphy eventually did get it out, and Judd tries to make amends for his unusual error from kicking it in, which he does successfully, and finds Cloak, and the Blues can run with this man Ryan Houlihan, who was back in the side and back in form last week.
Jared Waite starting up forward for Carlton.
Trent Crode takes the mark and gives it to playmaker for the Hawks in defence, Guerra, who switches to Gillam, and Lewis, who's in great form the last 3 weeks, takes the ball on centre wing. He looks for Franklin. Well done by Bowie, backed himself. Now he's dispossessed. Play on is the call. We'll have a bounce. About 55 out from the Hawks' goals.
Good start from Paul Bower there. He really acquitted himself well in that contest. Got himself in front. Didn't get too conscious of Buddy and attacked the footy.
Buddy almost doing the ruck work. He was trying to do the roving anyway. Jordan Russell with the handball away. Carrazzo and Scotland late withdrawals tonight for the Blues. There's Rioli. Gibbs. Nothing doing. Roughhead back in the goal square with Thornton watching him.
Well, Paul Bower, there's Fev and Crode. Fev's gone back towards the goal square. Fisher alongside him.
Judd latched in, left to Cruiser. Bit of volleyball from the Blues. Successful. Gibbs tucks it under the arm and then confronted by Guerra. Brushed him off pretty comfortably. Heads for Waite versus Murphy, and successfully taken, as you can see, by Jared Waite. Now Fev makes the move. The dart into the pocket, but he's got it! Oh, Luke Hodge was right away to it.
Look at the Carlton supporters. We were down their quarters. They out-pumped. They out-pumped the Carlton supporters. That's all they're talking about. Now, you saw Luke Hodge try to get back and get in front of Fev to make the 2-on-1. He got back, but he just couldn't get his hand on the footy. And, gee, if he gets this, the crowd, the Carlton crowd, they'll go crazy, because Fev has kicked 8 goals before in his career, several times.
You can see what's ahead of him. Brendan Favola for the first goal of the match. And is it going to be one of those nights? Hawks instantly play on, scores 11.
And Ladson onto the left boot. looks for Lewis again, and he takes the mark. He's averaging 30 disposals the last 5 weeks, 25 for season overall, so he has been really hot the last month or so. Here's Bateman. Not the best of handballs. Ellis was called a bit high, so he'll get the free kick. Bauer on Franklin.
Cruiser trying to get back there in front of him.
He kicks to Franklin. There's a couple getting back. One of them is Cruiser. Rob is spot on, and he sees it safely over the line. There's Favola.
Gee, Paul Bauer, big job, isn't it? Just his 12th game this season.
Here's Rioli from an impossible angle. Oh, Cyril's done it. Well, the debate has been hot this week. Is it Reece Palmer or Cyril Rioli? I know you can't answer the question, Robert Walls, because you're on the selection committee. Luke?
It's going to come down to the wire with those two young men. They've had fantastic seasons in terms of the NAB Rising Star. I love the way he plays the game, Cyril Rioli. Michael Voss this week put up an argument that he should be an All-Australian, and I think he'll definitely come into contention for that. But it has been an incredible debut season. I think he'll get the nod. I think he'll get the NAB Rising Star. He's a gun young player.
And Dennis Armfield, his opponent, and he's certainly quick.
Well, didn't Reece Palmer show that he wanted it with his performance last night in Perth? And Cyril Rioli, electrifying start to this Saturday night shootout at the Dome. Fev with a behind, no score for Buddy just yet. Sewell and Lewis, what an influence he's had in the last month, as Quarters alluded to. Didn't quite go the required distance. Rioli for a second. No, here's a chance for Buddy. Not quite this time. Surrounded, but he's got some contact. Play on was the call. And Lewis it is who has the shot. And Lewis it is who kicks the goal. Six disposals for Jordan Lewis.
And sharp hands by Mark Williams to feed that handball out. Pack of players all at ground level. And the quick hands set Lewis up. Lewis playing out on the wing on Mark Murphy.
No sense of theatre from the umpires here. Franklin, was this a free kick? No, I reckon that was a good decision by the umpire. Play on was the call, and Jordan Lewis is running hot. 6 disposals. It's the Hawks by 12. Carlton force it forward. Putting his body on the line was Murphy. Fed out the handball to Bateman. Tried to get it to Young. Now Mitchell for his first touch in the game. Simpson, he's bowled over. Murphy has another go at it. He's all wrapped up by Judd. A bounce. True centre half forward position for the Blues.
Good matchup there. Brad Sewell's got the job on Chris Judd. We know that he's a fantastic close checking player, and they'll go head to head for the whole night, those two.
Campbell the tap. Now on hands and knees. Tried to feed it out. He did, but only as far as Grigg. Here's Guerra. Short one, and he finds Gillam.
Stuart Jews away on the wing for him if he wants him. Next off the line is Luke Hodge as the Hawks look to build again. Campbell pushes to give a taller target. Instead, he settles on Mitchell.
And Gregg's got Mitchell, his tag.
Good challenge for him. We've already seen Rioli light it up once. This could be a chance for Lance, but no. Mr. Walker has other ideas.
Yeah, Andrew Walker playing back flank on Campbell Brown.
And off to Thornton in the back pocket. The Blues haven't had a lot of the footy so far. Hawthorn was twice as many disposals. This is Grigg, the man that we said is going to watch Mitchell. Judd just sauntering on through the middle of the ground. Stevens is in mind. And also Jordan Russell, who looked to lay it off. Goes with the pass, and on the end of it, guess who? It's Brendan Favola.
Fantastic play by Nick Stevens there. Hutto just checked the run of his opponent and allowed the mark to be taken comfortably in front of him. Geez, he looks sharp, Fev. His first mark in the hands was fantastic, and he looks really, really good on the lead as well. Those
forward targets, extraordinary stat, isn't it? Way out in front of all the other forwards in the league. 322 times Carlton have gone to Fev. 20-odd more than Hawthorn have gone to Lance, and they're so close as we get to the end of the season. He's going to have to kick them better than that, Fev, if there's a chance. Cameron Clegg was in the goals last week. 4 last week, 1 already tonight.
Big fan of Cameron Clegg, Wolsey. I think he's really improved his game this season, shown an ability to work hard at ground level, and I think he's going to be a really good option for them pitch hitting in the ruck going forward. And maybe a few nerves for Fev. He shanked the first couple of kicks.
That would have been Brendan Favola's worst shot for goal for the year, I reckon.
Well,
but all's well that ends well with the goal to Cloak.
We'll check the way he grips onto the footy. But question to you, Luke. We've got Hampson doing the ruck work. Cloak just kicked that goal. He's done ruck work and Cruiser. Does Carlton stick with those 3 next year, or do they bring in a fella like Jeff White from Melbourne?
Absolutely. Stick with the young boys. Get as much game time into them as you can.
Blues force it forward. Well done. Judd can goal from here. From 48, Chris Judd kicks the goal. Oh, he's given value for money. He's worth every cent of whatever he's getting.
Remember in the pre-season, Chris Judd saying, I think it'll probably take me to about August before I'm able to do what I was able to do at my prime. And he's back to moving the way that we know he can move. He's been phenomenal this season. The best recruit that any club has ever had, I think.
Well, Chris Judd kicked the goal. It was the young ruckman, this fella here, Sean Hampson, who fed the handball out to him. That's what Carlton likes. He's skinny and he's got to get bigger and stronger. He's got to improve his ruck work, but his follow-up work, his second and third efforts are first rate.
He's combating Renouf there, who's the backup ruckman for Hawthorn. There's Campbell Brown and Stuart Jude ready to pounce. He'll get it long into Franklin. Oh, almost. Been near misses so far for Buddy, as Thornton brings it away. Fickle bounce. Campbell Brown showed his value in the forward 50. There's last week. There's Hampson again getting involved and earning the plaudits of the fans tonight.
At the moment, Hawthorn's playing Buddy from the goal square and Roughhead about 20 metres out in front of him.
Again, the ruckman tangle. Bateman with the desperation. Lewis is back a bit of a spell. This is Kate Simpson along the line and over the line. Scores level.
Gillum shorts it to Young. There's a few hooks peeled off in the corridor. One of them's Ladson and one of them is Hodge, and that's a magnificent kick. Hodge should go all the way and kick a goal. What a kick that was from the middle. Clinton Young, that was just magnificent, that pass.
He had something really different to this side, Clinton Young. I like the way he plays. He's a different sort of matchup. Was leading up uncontested marks in the first half of the year because he runs really hard. He's a beautiful left foot kick. And the timing from Luke Hodge from the defence, prepared to play 50 metres in front of his opponent. And that's why he's so dangerous. We know how good he is by foot.
Luke Hodge is playing on Cameron Cloak at the moment, but he's still managed to get down from the last line of defence to kick a goal.
It's amazing, isn't it? And he'll try to exploit Cameron by running off him, as we saw then. It's a bold move. They've just got, Blues have got to try to get a couple of balls on Cameron's head.
It's a block.
It's a goal each at the moment in that matchup. Advantage paid. Quite a delay. Ryan Houlihan's on it here with Birchall staring him down and winning the day. Didn't exactly make it easy. And Houlihan's able to keep the Blues alive. This is Simpson. Murphy with a bit of a run up. And that came to an abrupt halt. Could well have been holding the ball. Ladson finds his way out. And Murphy's at the end to emerge. And then back for Hodge, who just holds the ball casually in one hand. And then hits up Young, returning the favour from before.
A few left footers in this team, Luke.
Oh, he hit the handball to the big ruckman, who was flat-footed and really wasn't given much of a chance. Hampson deals it out. This is Grigg on the run. Waite should have this one covered. He lets it go and doesn't get the bounce he was after.
Oh, there's pressure everywhere. I reckon that Buddy, I'm not sure about Buddy, how he's handling this pressure.
Well, there was talk today that a virus has swept through Hawthorn, that there was 4 or 5 of them that were a bit crook, and
well, that was on your radio station.
Buddy was one of them. But we'll find out later. He doesn't look like he's going so well to start with. A long way to go. And now Hawks are starting to run. This is Campbell Brown into the pocket. Franklin couldn't get up. Cruiser. Anderson. Bauer. And the Carlton defence is steadfast at the moment. Joey Anderson, who was so sensational in the dying seconds last week.
That's a risky kick.
It was, but it might just pay off for the Blues. Murphy to Gibbs. He's got Simpson to his left. He was stead kicking. Pushed in the back. Simpson's still on his own. He eventually sees him, and Simpson can't mark, and no interference given. Big Campbell, a big ruckman, he did not know what to do, but boy, he did it nicely. Was able to tread water just for a moment. And Stuart Dew takes the mark, and I'll fix you up for that later quarters. There's the kick up to the wing. Mitchell takes the grab.
Mitchell kicks in the roughhead direction. Good tackle by Franklin on Bauer. Umpire will bounce.
Got to tell to him he's had no chance. That's a good tackle.
Good contest between 2 terrific midfielders in Chance Bateman and Nick Stevens running into picture there.
Here's Franklin. Oh, good tackle. Judd just pinched it out of his arms. The old-fashioned steal. And now Thornton. A little short one. And it finds Pfeiffer, who was one of the late inclusions. Here we go. Franklin had his eyes lit up here. He was away, and Judd just ripped it out of his hands. Thank you very much.
Campbell, the extra centimetres and weight made a difference there, but the Blues at ground level right up to this challenge. Murphy and Gibbs.
Just got numbers, Carlton.
Sewell just releases in the nick of time. The insurance was crowed. And now Murphy. Confined Dew has been quite prominent so far. And Gill comes off the last line. So, where's Buddy? He's up at half forward. They go over his head. Osborne special with a big leap. Didn't get the timing right.
Hawthorn forward setup's just not gelling well at all so far in the first quarter. They've been running each other into a contest and very few one-on-one opportunities.
Cruiser has the football. It's a lovely long pass, and it finds, no, it doesn't find Fisher, who spilt the sliding mark. Here's Ellis, recovered from that knock. He was left. Advantage paid Lewis for disposal number 11. Weighs up his options and goes to Williams. Plays on quickly, bangs it to the tip of the goal square. Franklin, third man up. No mark. Thornton does the safety first thing and knocks it through for a rush behind. Looking very frustrated is Lance Franklin.
It might be a good idea to get him into the middle of the ground. Just give him a chance to take the pressure off having to kick goals and just get his hand on a few easier kicks.
Trouble for the Blues. And thought for a moment he was going to pay 50 there, but Darren Pfeiffer, the man that gave it up. Here's Franklin. He's got it this time.
And the delight on the young Hawks' face, priceless.
It's a great time to be a young Hawthorn supporter on the rise, isn't it? To sit back and watch this exciting footy club with all their stars starting to blossom. And there's no bigger man as far as the future of Hawthorn goes than this one, Lance Franklin. A nervous start tonight at the Dome, and he's bid for a ton. From 98 to 99. One to go. It can't be long now, surely. The Buddy Show is in motion.
Probably his first real genuine one-on-one marking contest, and the kick that came in, as we have a look at the replay here, the kick from Stewie Drew actually wasn't a great kick. He had to stop and prop and go back. That is why this man is a genius and such a talent, is that you don't actually have to kick the ball to in the right spot. He's good enough on an opponent to beat him outright one-on-one. And it was a really relaxed kick ball as he came up the boot well, and that's a good sign for him.
Yes, and wasn't it a good mark? Used the maximum height that he's got. He's tall. He got the arms up straight. And that'll make him feel a lot better because he couldn't get one towards the end of last week's game. And one on the board now. I think he'd be feeling pretty good.
And security men will be on red alert.
It's the Hawks by 2 goals. Renoff, Sewell, and the handball smothered. Toughened the clinches there. Mitchell did brilliantly. Now Bateman sidesteps, gives it to Renoff, who throws it on the boot. Good luck getting that one. It's into the pocket. Here's Franklin. Breaks the tackle. Goes short. Play on, not 15, says the umpire. Brown just blazed away. It's all Carlton here. And the mark's taken by Gibbs.
Buddy was looking for the 1-2 there. Campbell Brown just didn't synchronise with him at all, did he?
And he turned around, Buddy, and let him know that he should have given it back to him as well.
I think Buddy sent the runner out because Campbell Brown's coming off. The ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. See, I've got a plan here. But no, he wasn't ready for it. Hawks. No, it's a throw. It's against Sewell.
Sean Greig's kick.
And there's the security men lined up.
What do you think, Quarters? Do you think when he gets the 100 that fans will stay off the ground?
Absolutely no chance at all, Robert. They will come on by their thousands.
Thornton to centre half forward. Nice little hand in the back, perhaps, from Guerrero. Not seen by the umpire. Maybe it was on the side. Again, Hampson getting a handball out, giving an opportunity for his forwards. Austin was in the thick of it there. Well done, Birchall. The composure shown by Hodge. This is the running machine that the Hawks have got that does provide the threat in the finals. Lewis jabs that nicely, and the Hawks go into attack.
Dishes off to Rioli. Rioli shorts it. Here's the moment. Franklin's got it. And a beautiful Anthony Hudson handball too it was too. So Lance Franklin, there's the security guards. They are lining up by the dozens. I don't think it's going to be enough. Lance Franklin.
All the players are moving towards the middle of the ground in anticipation.
20 seconds gone.
Here he comes. On 99 goals. Lance Franklin joins the 100 club. And people power has spoken. Out they come by their thousands. Just the 28th man in 150 years of AFL to reach the magical 100.
Have a look at that.
That is amazing.
And they are coming and coming and coming. And as ridiculous as it is, it's just fantastic.
It is one of the great traditions of AFL football. There's not many left. Let's just hope no one gets injured. But this is a great part of AFL footy. I know the AFL doesn't like it. I know probably the police don't like it. But it very rarely happens in the game. Let's savour the moment.
Let's hope they don't stay out there too long, Quarters. Get out there, have their fun, and get off, because we know that.
I'd have to say this is the biggest swarm I've ever seen on the ground,
it's
guys.
massive, isn't it? It's absolutely massive. It's like a rock concert out there.
Well, he is a rock star, let's be honest.
He is.
How many do you think are there multiplied by 6,000? That's what the fines are.
I think someone estimated today that if Buddy did it and Fev did it and they fined everyone, that they'd make about 60 million.
Geez, there's some of those international football, I think the Samoans are heading out.
Well, amazing scenes at Telstra Dome. That man in the middle of it is Lance Franklin. Joins two Hawthorn greats as century goal kickers, Peter Hudson and Jason Dunstall.
Minor distraction, which is the game. The margin out to 18 points with consecutive Franklin goals. The Blues swing it back into action. Favola tries to get there. Can't. Fisher. And it's all Hawthorn on the last line. Ladson for Bateman. He's got Ellis away on the wing if he looks up quickly. He didn't. Now he does. And Ellis getting some annoyance from Murphy, but they sort it out between them. This is Birchall for Sewell. With the job of minding Judd. Low ball. Here's Franklin again. He's not satisfied with 2 goals. He's not satisfied with 100.
And it was a great kick by Sewell. Well set up shot at goal this, because the Hawks brought it from boundary line back pocket to back flank, then brought it into the central corridor, which they often do, and then it's straight down the middle to the leading forward, be it Roughhead or Franklin.
So Franklin just a couple of steps and he shanks it and through for a behind.
8 minutes was the time delay from the time he kicked a goal to the time they started, so that's not bad quarters.
You approve of it now, do you, Wolsey?
Yeah, I'm glad I was here to see it. 4 years ago the G Train got 100 goals.
Yes.
That was in a finals match, and 10 years ago Plugger got it in the season proper.
Correct. And just the 28th man in the history of the game to achieve the feat. That's a pretty ordinary kick. It's a free kick going to the Hawks. So it's all a bit of an anticlimax at the moment, isn't it, as we near quarter time?
Chris Judd's covering Buddy at the moment. Now Waite's gone down to help out.
Sam Mitchell with the footy. Not a lot on offer inside 50 as Carlton get plenty of numbers back. Franklin wants the football. Roughhead has the big ride. Can't take the mark. Rioli, beautiful roving. Gives it to Williams. That's a goal.
Cyril Rioli. Luke, how good was that?
You just need to see this again, Wolsey, to understand how brilliant this young man is. The instinct for the game. Look at that touch on the footy. You cannot teach that. It's just such an amazing hand-eye coordination and a reflex. It gets himself in the right position. Have a look at this, front and centre. And to be able to maintain control of that footy and get it out is just as good as it gets, Cyril Rioli.
Got a big decision to make tomorrow, Robert.
Yes, there's some real talent, isn't there, as to who will win the NAB Rising Star. There's probably, obviously this young fella to come into it. I think he's played nearly every game, kicked goals, tackled well, set them up.
Will he be All-Australian contention, Cyril Rioli? Is he a chance?
As a small forward pocket play, certainly, yep.
Run off over the top. That ends the first quarter. Well, everyone came to see Buddy kick his 100, and he's done the right thing in the first quarter.
I'm with the star of The Mummy, the latest one, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, out in cinemas September 11. Now, Brendan, I understand you wanted to come to an AFL match. Why is that?
Absolutely. I've never been to one before. This is so exciting. The play is continuous. It's what, a history-making night for Buddy and the Hawks. He just kicked his 100th. Everybody rushed on the stage.
All right, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the game.
My pleasure. Congratulations.
His feat's being recognised around the world. Sort of. 25 points is the margin as we start the second quarter. Bateman and Osborne had to get balanced then, just had to work out which way they were kicking, I think, for a moment before sending it out in the path of Campbell, who did well enough to get it up to Lewis, who dominated in the first quarter. Speaking of domination, Franklin in that last 5 minutes was sensational with his couple of goals, and he could have made it 3. What a job for Bauer it is tonight. Only back in the side for a few weeks for Carlton after an injury has robbed him of much of the season. Here he is, Paul Bauer, out to the wing, and Walker. Judd floats past. Goes the other way instead for Jordan Russell. Not a great kick on the bounce. Tough one to handle for Simpson. Guerra applying the tackle. Russell makes good, though, and hands it off to Walker. Murphy's waiting at the bottom of this if it hits the turf. Taken away nicely by Fisher. Showed them all a clean pair of heels. Cloaks the target.
It's interesting down there, Hutto. Hodge and Cloak. Hodge is just trying to get off Cloak all the time to get in front of Brendan Favola. So he's prepared to risk The ball coming over the top to Cameron Cloak in order to help out and cut out the supply to Brendan Favola.
By the way, Jordan Lewis, 14 disposals in the first quarter for the Hawks. Hodges up to 10, while for Carlton, 9 to Judd and 8 to Murphy. Ellis, clever kick off the side of the boot.
Very clever.
Lewis for number 15. Chips. Oh, another spectacular ride for Osborne. This time he comes down with a footy. Chip around the corner. He looked for Franklin. Just getting a hand in the nick of time for the Blues was Anderson. And now he's taken over the line.
Gee, Michael Osborne, he is a spring-heeled jack from the Gold Coast. He's got a fantastic leap.
Campbell down to Sewell, wrested away again by Judd. Drawing plenty of attention. 9 disposals for Chris Judd.
Here's that leap of Osborne's.
Oh, Chris Judd's kick by the arm, hold by the arm. Straight away.
Lewis had already imagined kicking the goal by the time the umpire gave him the bad news. 24 points the margin. Murphy just got fingertips to it, and that was enough to spoil Cameron Cloak. Mitchell for Sewell. Stuart Dew, his 6th disposal coming up. Oh, clumsy. Roughhead
Free kick.
to have a pretty regulation shot for goal here.
Pretty clumsy spoiling attempt, wasn't it? The free kick was very obvious.
Joe Anderson there.
And there it is. That was free kick every day of the week. It's a pretty important period for Carlton. They don't want to get blown away and ruin the last part of their season. They've been so good. Want to get themselves back into this game.
They've been spectacular with their comebacks, haven't they? Carlton during the year. They might need to produce something else like that. Margin 25 after Roughhead misses.
The inside 50 count is really bad for Carlton. Just 12 to the Blues and 21 to the Hawks. Shot of Nick Stevens in picture. Nick Stevens is being run with Chance Bateman. Stevens has had just the 2 disposals thus far. Bateman's had 9.
A lot of Hawthorn people reckon Chance Bateman was leading their best and fairest before he did his injury halfway through the year. That's how good he was going.
He's had a super year, Luke, and you just watch him play. He plays with so much energy. He just covers the ground and comes off the ground absolutely spent each game.
So Carlton have possession. Ball goes to the wing. Murphy flew in the middle of 2 Carlton players, and we'll have a throw in. Brendan Favola still stuck on 92 in the first quarter. A poster, another behind, and one which he completely shanked. Who knows? He's a burst player, Favola, but he needs about 3 this quarter, I reckon, to be any chance. Walker to Judd. It's not the greatest of kicks from the Carlton captain. Hodge fires out the handball. Here's Rioli. To Bateman. Fell over. Hodge will hold things up, and we'll have a bounce about 48 metres out from Carlton's goal.
Hawks having Buddy right back in the goal square with Bauer, and Roughhead up at centre half forward. Osborne inside the forward 50, so just 3 forwards for the Hawks at the moment. And Carlton getting a couple of players back, so the Blues very conscious of cutting out the supply in that middle corridor. Very open shot of the Hawthorn forward line.
Play goes on. Nick Stevens has been very quiet. That's just his 3rd disposal. Simpson. Rioli, look at that determination and appetite for the footy. He really is stating his case why he should be the rising star.
Bit of a push and shove going on there in the left-hand corner of your screen. That's Nick Stevens and Bateman have been at it for a fair while.
And there's a Hawthorn player down and hurt too.
Get back to that.
There's a Hawthorn player out. It's Ladson.
Ellis sends it onto the half-back flank. Just a bit of angst.
Nick Stevens is the one they don't like, and now Stevens is getting into Bateman.
Well, Bateman and Stevens have gone step for step for the entire game. At the moment, Bateman well on top.
He's still barking at Stevens as Chance Bateman. So I wonder what happened. Oh, gee, that's nasty. He's been obviously dealt with. Copped a whack in the head. I wonder if it was legal or illegal. Here's Roughhead to Jew. Kick smothered. Good effort by Murphy. Jew with strength. Handball to Franklin. He was being held.
Over the arm. Over the arm.
So Ladson is off and in a bad way.
And Bateman and Stevens still very much into each other's face.
So Lance Franklin has kicked 2 goals, 1 as Bateman. Oh, he's still getting into Stevens. There's a little war going on there as the umpire comes in to break things up. We're still looking at the videotape to see if you know what happened there. As Franklin for his 3rd, tight angle this one. Across the face and 1 behind.
Mark Murphy called on, and Franklin could have got a gift of a goal there, but great awareness from Murphy to just react and squeeze his way out of trouble. Anderson couldn't handle it. Judge shows him how to do it. Advantage should be paid, and is. That advantage comes to an end about now.
It's against Guerra. He continued on with the tackle once Murphy had got rid of the ball.
And Guerra saying that Murphy was still holding on to him to make it look that way, but
Just not getting the ball over the 50-metre line, Blues.
no fluency at all, is there? 26 points is the margin. 12 disposals for both Jard and Murphy, and that could have been catastrophic. Gee, Campbell-Brown could have drawn a free kick there. Now
Well, let's have a look at the incident. We've got it on camera. Ladson and Stevens. This is the lead up to the incident.
Nothing
Pad
so
away.
far.
And that's all we've got at the moment. So maybe the perpetrator, if there was one in fact, might have got away with it.
Hodge is just running off Cameron Cloak time and time again back there.
and out to the wing where Campbell-Brown can give it to Franklin to his left, but decides to go more direct path to goal. To Bateman, to Williams. As easy as that.
Some sort of job that man on screen's doing, Chance Bateman on Nick Stevens. Stevens just a 3 disposals, having a look at Rick Ladson, who's got a bit of a cut under his eye from that contest a little bit earlier on. But Chance Bateman has just been enormous. He's had 10 disposals. He's kept Nick Stevens to 3 and been involved in a lot of play. Just gifted that goal to Mark Williams.
And we'll have another look at this incident. Nick Stevens gets the ball away. Ladson tackles him. Bit of a glancing blow there.
Yeah, it looked like a glancing blow, didn't it? He's been patched up. Let's go down to Howie, Mark Howard.
Yeah, Hutto, he didn't look good when he came off the ground. He was carried off the ground, but it's just done through a run through in front of me. He's got a nasty gash under his right eye. He changed his jumper, which was ripped, but he looks like he's ready to go back into battle.
They're bursting again, the Hawks. Out of the middle, Clinton Young. Buddy with some momentum, but not that time. And now Gibbs is away for the Blues, who trail by 32 points, and it looks dangerous. The Hawks have dominated Carlton, haven't they, in recent times? Long bomb for Favola. It's been pretty quiet down that end of the ground.
And again, Hodge is there. Now, Brett Ratton, I don't think Brett Ratton can keep Cameron Cloak in the forward pocket with Hodge's opponent. It's not Cameron Cloak's fault. It's just that he's not suited to play on a bloke like Hodge, who is too experienced and too quick and is able to cut off the leads to Favola.
Nice tap by Cloak. The Hawks get the ball. Murphy, Guerra, Rioli against Armfield. Rioli paddles. Well done by Armfield. Won the ball for Carlton. Gillen couldn't take the mark. And the Hawks come away with the football. Hodge has a couple of bounces. Now he kicks long to a one-on-one. Oh, good effort. Well done by Anderson. And he comes away with the ball as well. That's a good one-on-one win for him. Gives it to Judd. And he threw that. And the free kick's going to Young as Cloak comes off for a break. Young on that long left foot kicks it to Franklin, works his way to the front. Good spalling by Bauer. In there is Waite. To Bauer. Now Thornton to be clean here. And the kick finds Pfeiffer.
Judd, they decide to go straight down the middle. There were some options out on the wing, but they're going more direct, which is good to watch as Anderson kicks too quickly.
See, this is crazy. This is just crazy to let Luke Hodge have his 15th disposal. He's the most damaging player on the ground.
Franklin, oh, almost. As has been the case for much of the night. Cloak's off, so they are restructuring down there, and Walker's gone into the forward line.
That's a good move, Andrew Walker, because he's a real talent. Hodges playing 30 metres in front of Walker again, though, so the Carlton midfielders have just got to use Walker. He's actually out. Cloak was out a handful of times as well, so you actually got to go through Hodges' man and try and get the footy to him.
Ladson is back on the ground, by the way, which is good to see. Birchall handling it well. Has 3 touches in that passage of play. And the Hawks' defence bring it away.
A lot of disposals at the moment, but not much happening on the scoreboard. Ellis to Rioli. Goes out to Williams, who lumbers after the ball. Very casual. Back to Rioli. Now on the left boot. That's a good kick to Roughhead. Roughhead couldn't take the mark. Good tackle by Houlihan. Almost going in slow-mo at the moment. That's holding the ball, surely, umpire. Was it going to be a goal anyway to Brown?
It's a fantastic move Alistair Clarkson and his coaching panel have come up with, taking away an all-Australian defender into the forward half of the ground. He is a fanatical tackler, Campbell Brown, and he just adds pressure. Look at him around the contest there, second and third efforts. He picks that one up on the back of Sam Mitchell's work. What they've done is allowed Luke Hodge to play permanently at half back, and how dangerous is Luke Hodge? You've got to play a great player on him, and he can still dominate the game.
So another Hawthorn goal. It's a Carlton player's turn to have the blood coming out. Down on the bench, Grigg has come off with the blood rule. There he is.
Simpson coming on for Carlton, heading to the forward pocket to play on Luke Hodge.
Would you go the defensive tag Wolsey now and just try and get someone to shut him down? Or
Absolutely, yeah. Luke. Look, Hodge has had 16 disposals and they've all been, well, nearly all been effective. And I just think you put Simpson out there and say, you just go with him every step of the way.
Judd involved again, Jordan Russell. And Simpson will let it go. And the ball had other ideas, didn't it? But it got there. Been a quiet time down that end of the ground in this quarter.
So goal to Carlton, and Sam Mitchell will be happy he missed. That would have been finals goodbye if that had made contact.
He almost played up Xavier Ellis too.
And they're getting pretty aggressive, the boys. And
bit unsociable, Rob?
Bit unsociable, that's okay. And Bateman got a little bit of a backhander, I think, from Nick Stevens, but that's okay too. He's playing really well, Chance Bateman.
Oh, it's a beautiful kick too, inside 50, and the mark is taken by Robert Campbell, who's within range.
Well, Robert Campbell was posing for photos when Buddy was off the ground. Have a look at Nick Stevens there, and that's just caught Chance Bateman across the face.
Had a nice knee in the scon to boot.
He's as tough as they come, Chance Bateman. I think he's a super player.
Campbell's kicked 6 goals, 1 this season, and he can make it 7.
Underrated player, Robert Campbell. Enormously strong man to move. He just, when he plants his feet, very, very hard to dislodge him. And if he can add a bit more of this to his game at 7 goals for the year, love to see him just work that little bit harder forward, try and get on the scoreboard a bit more, because he's got the capabilities to do it. He's quite a good kick.
Interesting one, Luke, isn't it? He's only played a handful of senior games this year. He's got a lot of talent. I'd be tempted to keep him on, because I think there's been so much improvement by other Carlton players. He will be better in a better team, Houlihan, because he's
four
a
games
finisher.
this year before tonight and averaging 20 touches in those 4 games.
Yeah, I
26.
Kicked 3 1/4 last week too, which probably helped his chances of hanging around next year.
Looks like he's got the job on Hodge. And then he goes on to Ladson, and of course it frees up Hodge again.
Well, the game not reaching great heights at the moment. It's been a sloppy second quarter. And there's another ordinary kick as Birchall gets a spray from his teammate Campbell Brown. Everyone's just lost a bit of concentration out there by the looks of things. Rioli almost brighten things up. He'll get it back, and on the left boot, beautiful kick to Williams.
He pulled the kick, Cyril. He was going to bomb it, and he had the vision to see a teammate. Have a look at the leap for a start. Doesn't give away a free kick. Unselfish tap, and he pulls the kick.
How's the balance there, Wolsey, just to keep his feet? It's like a cat the way he landed. Unbelievable.
Teenager. What a future he's got.
So Williams, another gift from Cyril Rioli. Can he make the most of it? For number 3. There's a little tap and great vision, beautiful pass, and 3 goals straight to Mark Williams tonight. He's up to 38 goals for the season.
Look at the metres gained that Luke Hodge has achieved for Hawthorn. 518, well ahead of Stuart Dew and everybody else on the ground, Das, with his 18 disposals.
It's an incredible graphic that he's had. Every one of those 18 disposals have been effective. He just gained so much positive momentum for his side.
6 times he's brought it out of defence. The Hawks lead by 43. And they're going forward again. Alice's kick. Williams waits down, so too Osborne. Rough head. Lewis round the corner. Williams starting to find the footy in this quarter. Already kicked 3 goals for the night. So Mark Williams, 35 goals, 24 going into tonight, so 38 goals now. In his 7th year at Hawthorn. And a bit of cloak and a bit of post gets in the road to blot the copybook for Mark Williams. Simpson brings it back in.
And the mark's taken by Murphy. Short one to Judd, who's coming up for his 15th possession tonight.
Haven't had a lot of success. It's a really good picture of the Hawthorn zone that we've spent a lot of time talking about. You can see they're not actually picking up their man, so this kick has to be pinpoint.
Big pat fly there and off hands. It was Anderson to Houlihan. Not a lot on offer. He goes to Favola. Good strong hands from Brendan Favola. So he'll be lining up. He'll have to take his very best from here. Kicking from about 51 metres out on a very tight angle, but he's more than capable of slotting it through. Converting at 66% this season.
It's an unusual grip.
And no. He's had 4 shots at goal. Favola family watch on. It is the Hawks by 44 points. Guerra, little short one. We'll have a throw in.
44 points the margin. Close to half-time here at the Dome.
And you can see Nick Stevens. Have a look at Chance Bateman, his opponent. Bateman is just going step for step with him all the way. Stevens 4 disposals and Bateman 12.
Good hands from Russell, Houlihan, Murphy. Gibbs is on here. So Bryce Gibbs has kicked 12 goals, 3 for the season. His 12th disposal of the night coming up. Has averaged 20 disposals per game, 7 up on last year. He's had a terrific development year. And they are going to have a midfield to be reckoned with in the future, Carlton, as the likes of Gibbs and Murphy become top-line players in the AFL. His skills on display there for a much-needed goal.
Fantastic young player, Bryce Gibbs. Love the way Brett Ratton's coached him this year. He's given him some big jobs. Seen him play on Adam Goods head-to-head. Do a fantastic job on him. He's played him as a tagger on some of the better midfielders in the competition, and it's a great learning curve for him. He's applied himself really well to all those jobs, and as Anthony Hudson just mentioned, what a exciting future this man has got.
Still only 19 years old, Bryce Gibbs, playing his 43rd game tonight. There's Dick Pratt.
Graham John.
Yep.
Greg Swan.
Some heavies there. Hawks by 38. They won't like what they're seeing at the moment because the Hawks are in control of this match. Osborne fed it out to Mitchell. Here's Franklin. Kept the ball alive. Rioli over the top of it. Tries to knock it out. Have another go at it. Roughhead comes in to join the party. Armfield did it nicely to Gibbs. And now Carlton run the ball out of defence. Murphy. Long kick. Nicely trapped by Hampson, but couldn't go on from there, and we'll have a throw in.
He's an athletic young man, Sean Hampson. You just see those glimpses of what you think the Carlton people have fallen in love with. I understand he's a soccer convert. This is him going for the ruck hit out now, but I like the way he moves. I think he's got a lot of potential.
Sul de Guerra. Back to Gillum. And again, the Hawks' defence combining pretty effectively. Crowd to Birchall. Sam Mitchell hasn't had a massive influence tonight, and he was in trouble there. 14th disposal, not so good for Cloak. And now the Blues have the footy as the second quarter ends.
Here's that one to Campbell. Here's Judd after the Gibbs handball. Puts it inside 50. Favola works his way to the front. Simpson, good tackle by Hodge.
And Buddy's up around this contest. You can see Buddy Franklin. He's across the half-back line for the Hawks, so his coach is giving him a bit of a run.
Little push on Judd there. And here he is. Lewis, who started the game so well. Inventive handball came off. Hodge to Ellis, is cammed underneath it and takes the mark. He was the late inclusion tonight for Stokes. Handball to Franklin, put him under the pump. Gives it back to Ladson. Now Rioli threaded it through somehow. Again back to Ladson. So the Hawks had the ball at half-back. Kicks to Bateman, and Bateman takes the mark. Chips into the middle. Oh, Campbell's all by himself. Now what's he going to do with it? Kicks it up high. Brown caught behind. Good effort by Thornton. And the Blues concede the rush behind.
There's Luke Hodge, best man on the ground in the first half, 18 disposals and dominated. He's got his fourth opponent now, and it's Sean Grigg. As you can see, he pushes up to play that zone, so 30 or 40 metres off his opponent. And the fourth man to have a crack now will be Sean Grigg. He's been unbelievable, Luke Hodge.
Anderson for Simpson, and now Murphy.
That's what Cyril Rioli does so very well. The pressure by Cyril Rioli, forward line pressure by a small forward, he pretty much sets the standard.
What a tough job it is for you and your mates, Wolsey, with just trying to judge the impact of the possession winning and power running of Palmer versus Rioli, and his tackling and his pressure and his marks and goals. Stevens, very quiet first half, at least with the footy. Grigg, Simpson, now Fev. Maybe he'll come with a rush in the second half.
Stuart Dew maybe dislocating a finger there.
Fev's grip on the ball's interesting. Tends to have, as you can see, the right hand down low and left hand up top. It's unusual, that grip.
But it's worked very well for him during the year. He's on the ball.
Actually looked very good on the lead tonight, Brendan Favola. The few times that we've seen him get a one-on-one opportunity, seems to be able to cover Trent Croad okay for speed and body position. Just been limited amount of times that he's been in that position. Maybe, just maybe, he'll come home with a rush and get some opportunities, because he does look sharp and he looks as though he's capable of kicking a few in a rush.
Brendan Favola moves his tally from 92 to 93. There's a famous Blues supporter,
Cameron Ling.
Steve Hooker, the gold medalist in the pole vault from the Beijing Olympics. What a performance under pressure that was. Hacked out of midair by Mitchell. There's Rioli. Lost his feet, but still somehow got the footy and tapped it out to a teammate. And he gets it back from Roughhead. Kicks into the pocket and finds Lewis, who squares it up. Williams underneath it. Can't take the mark. Murphy fires out the handball to Armfield to Judd. Hassling him is Rioli. Judd did well under pressure. Anderson. Lewis dumps Anderson after the tackle, so it's coming back. And then the free kick's going to be taken by Bauer.
$33 points the margin at the moment. Blues, as we mentioned, are capable of launching some comebacks. They showed that again last week against Brisbane. They'll need to be better than that, though, on their way out of defence. Nick Stevens into lend a hand, draws a free kick, but he's given away quite a few free kicks tonight.
3. I think, maybe 4.
Bauer to Judd to Austin.
Jared Waite in
Murphy.
real trouble behind play after that tackle.
Armfield had Walker away. They just couldn't spot him. He's still loose on the 50, way away from here. But the Blues a little stodgy in their movement forward. He's going to come up to meet it here, Walker. He leapt but couldn't get over there. Mountain in front, Robert Campbell. Waite coming from the ground. He's going to have to break away from the trainers. Tries to confront Ladson, didn't really get in his path. Beautiful delivery.
Could be 50. Hayden Kennedy on the job.
Do you think that's his best spot, Wolsey, going into a final series, Campbell Brown up forward? Is that what you would do?
Look, I like it, because probably an unhealthy reliance on Franklin and Roughhead to kick the bulk of their goals. You know, going into this game, Franklin 98, Roughhead 61. Then you had Williams at 35. Most clubs have about 5 or 6 who kick 20 plus.
He puts through another one. That's a double for Campbell Brown.
He kicked 4 last week in his best ever haul, and he just adds, along with Cyril Rioli, an incredible amount of presence and forward pressure as well. So the luxury is you can actually play Luke Hodge back there, so you gain that incredible use of the ball, and you gain that play you have to worry about as well. So it's an incredible luxury they've got.
And I think the thing about Campbell-Brown, Luke, is that for a couple of years he pretty much played as a centre-half back on much bigger opponents, and I think that eventually wears you down, and other teams started to exploit him a bit, and I think the move forward has been a terrific move by Alistair Clarkson.
It's an interesting decision that on Robert Campbell. He's called that he went past the line of the ball on a shepherd. It's something he does a lot, Campbell. You'll have to watch that.
Messi from Carlton in the middle. They lose possession on the rebound. They're going to get hurt here. Rioli can almost go all the way and kick the goal himself. He does the unselfish thing to Franklin, who screws the ball around the body and in typical Franklin style kicks the goal.
That pass was directed to Williams, not Franklin. Doesn't matter. Thing about Cyril Rioli is that he will share the ball in the blink of an eye. And as soon as it came towards him, all the other Hawthorn players lit up because they knew the little fella would try to share it.
Three for Buddy, and again Cyril Rioli with the assist, even if it wasn't intended to be that man that he assisted. Cloak and run off. Cloak with the tap. Mitchell steaming out of the middle, the wrong way. Young for Birchall. The more left footers.
Well, we counted up 11 of them at half-time in this current team for the Hawks, left-footers.
Sewell to Campbell-Brown. Hit the pack hard and does all the work. Gee, he worked hard for that goal. Up in the air and on the ground.
Sensational second effort that was from Campbell-Brown. Have a look at this on replay. Launches in the air, but look at the recovery and the effort, and the composure was great as well.
Well, that's a good sight for Carlton. Jared Waite heading back onto the ground. He limped off a few minutes ago. They checked his left knee. He said he was okay, and now he's back on the ground.
Thanks, Christie. Down there with Mark Howard tonight. Sam Mitchell had the ball stolen out of his arms by Chris Judd. That's his second steal for the night. Houlihan unsuccessfully trying to get it to Stevens. And the Hawks get it back. Sewell to Bateman, who's had an excellent night. Goes to Birchall. Fires out the handball to Young. Hawks full of running now. Bateman goes inboard to Osborne. Back to Young. Osborne didn't shepherd. Young has time to get rid of the handball though. Back to Sewell. To Hodge. Sells the dummy. And now on the left goes long. Cruises underneath it and takes a mark. Cruiser keeps on going and does well, the big fella. Now it's Carlton's turn to run the ball out of defence. Armfield looks to Cruiser, who just kept on going. Run down by Renouf. Murphy to Hodge to Birchall. Now Young. Oh, beautiful kick. Williams didn't take the ball, but not quite clever enough. Idea was right, just couldn't execute. Now Judd. There's real rebound football at the moment. Judd to Thornton. Back to Judd. And he kicks to Houlihan. And goes short to Bauer.
Chris Judd already into the 20s tonight with his disposals. Jared Waite, he's got a couple on the wing. Spots Thornton, who's away. Got Grigg at centre half forward. I think he telegraphed it a little bit too much. The Hawks are onto him. Tough for lads and in amongst a couple of blues, but Hawthorn players keeping their feet. You can see the extra pace shown by Osborne. Earned the free.
Geez, quick, wasn't he?
He tried to play on. Wasn't so smart. Walker Maybe some high contact. Jordan Russell wades through. Stevens starting to get a bit of it in this quarter. Off to Houlihan. Gibbs. Oh, too high. Proverbial brick wall for Bentic. Houlihan goes for Favola. Going to have to work it on the bounce. Crowd first back. Not a great handball. And Greig to try and capitalise, but saving the day one more time for Hawthorn is Luke Hodge.
Number 23 disposal.
His second consecutive right foot kick out to Lewis and then Osborne.
Been a great story, Michael Osborne, this year for the Hawks. Was probably not in their best 22 at the start of the year. Forced his way into the side and he's been fantastic.
Bateman to Ladson. He kicks in the rough head direction. Williams has got 3. Squeezed the kick out to Franklin. What can Buddy do here? From possible angle, hits the post. But I think he's stepped over the line, so we're going to have a throw in here. Yes, we are.
Better bring it back, boys.
See that goal? That boundary umpire would have been a spoil sport if that had gone through for a goal.
Roughhead against Cruiser. Brown was the rover. Carlton going to get out of this through Murphy. Tips to Gibbs. And Murphy just kept on running. And a beautiful kick to Favola, who is within range to kick his second for the night. And goal 94 for the year.
I reckon he has kicked 8 goals and a half, Fev, hasn't he? Going back against...
There's Bryce Gibbs holding the ball. You can see the hands are spread around the middle of the ball, the left hand, the right hand, and there's the very different shot of Brendan Favola. This is live action.
So Favola for his second. Delightful kick. Well, if you can squeeze another couple in this quarter, boys, all is not lost.
And the Blues might decide, well, let's go all out to Fed. 80% of their forward 50 entries go to him anyway. They might as well make it 100% for the last quarter and a bit.
Well, he's kicked 2. And there's still plenty of time in this third quarter. We could yet have part 2 of the shootout feast tonight from the Dome. Renouf getting plenty of ruck work. Taylor set to come back for the finals, you would think, to join his partner in the middle in Campbell. Luke Hodge getting some downtime.
Polled Brownlow votes in 4 of his last 5 matches against Carlton, Anthony. Luke Hodge.
Murphy. Might have some more tonight, quarters perhaps. Stevens. And now Austin. Awkward looking kick. Gibbs handled it very well. Not so. Wait, and Birchall was ready to swoop. Osborne, they swing into action again. Bateman from 40. Not that time.
Immediately Bateman looks to see where Nick Stevens is. Stevens is heading to the interchange, so Bateman says, I'll chase him there.
Marked by Russell, who's playing his 50th match tonight for the Blues. Kicks along the line to a contest. Gillam at the bottom of all that.
Tackle Hawthorn.
And free kick going Gillam's way.
Stay out at the back.
And short one to Ladson. And he goes to Franklin with a beautiful pass. No mark though to Lance Franklin. Armfield was caught high.
You've got him around the neck. No, over like that. He's a high tackle. Play on.
Now Gibbs will switch to Cloak. He's got Judd on short if he wants to go to him. He does. And Well done by Campbell to create the contest and spoil Chris Judd and win the ball back for his team. That was a good effort from the ruckman. Now Lewis kicks to Roughead, who is within range. Well done by Campbell. He plays on Roughead and he goes long, and Jared Roughead has kicked 3 behinds tonight.
It's the only real worry for me.
He's really struggled in the last few matches. Roughead got in front of goal.
Out of sorts, isn't he, Jared Roughead? I mean, the focus goes so much to Buddy Franklin, but at the moment he just doesn't look to have the same bounce in his game that he had first part of the year.
Is the kicking for goal an issue for both Roughead and Franklin?
No doubt it is. I mean, if they could kick straight, you could see Franklin maybe kick 10 goals in a final. Going to make a huge difference, isn't it, as opposed to 3-7 or 3-8 or something that we know that he's done in the past. So
Fisher having to work up the ground to get his disposals. Fev's back. He's got to contend with 2 here. Guerra stands in front, but Favola had the read on it. And here comes Fev.
The kick by Gibbs was a beauty, and Bryce Gibbs has got the Blues going as much as anybody in this quarter. That was his 10th disposal for the 3rd term. And I reckon he saw Fev on the lead and just pulled that kick 5 metres to give him a chance to run onto it.
So 2 in the bag. Brendan Favola. It's only 40 metres. For number 95. Don't go to bed yet.
You've only got to look at Fev.
Yeah, he's got a sniff, hasn't he?
Have a look at Fev's face. he hasn't got the sad sacks at the moment. He did in the 2nd quarter. Don't worry about that. The lip was dragging. But all of a sudden, there's a glint in the eye.
5 to go for Brendan Favola, and there is plenty of time left in this match. He's a burst player. We know he can kick multiple goals in a short space of time. Lance Franklin down the other end with 101 next to his name. Hawks by 41. Campbell, beautiful tap to Lewis. To Ellis. Back to Campbell, to Bateman. Now Guerra. Long ball, Roughead. Flies. No mark. Austin there will concede the point.
Fev kicked 8 goals in 3 quarters against Essendon. I think it was round 3 early last year. He was goalless in the 1st quarter. Kicked 8 in 3 quarters. So he's capable of kicking lots of goals. I think it was Jeff Farmer once that kicked 8 goals and a half, wasn't it?
It was 9.
9, was it? Judd's got Cruiser running again. Everyone's watching Fev. And here he comes. He waits down this time. Smart decision. Can the Blues get it to him? No, they can't. But we're going to be watching every movement forward now for Carlton with quite a bit of interest. Dry smile from Fev.
He's hungry, isn't he? He's hungry now.
They're trying to block him out here. Particularly Crode's trying to. Hodge off to Sewell. And Birchall taking no chances.
Ladson short to Birchall. And he kicks to Osborne, who provides the ball to Young. Long to Williams. Oh, that's a great grab.
That is a great grab. Down low. Met the ball at full pace, did Mark Williams.
Looking for leads. He decides to give it to Young, who we know is a thumping kick. It's touched off the boot. Into the pocket, Brown's got 3. Here's Jew. He's got the strength, but he's all wrapped up by Thornton. Another bounce, about 25 out from Hawthorn's goal.
And Mark Williams meets that ball. Gee, that's a good mark.
Scooped it, didn't he?
It got it at ankle height.
Roughead with the ruck work that time. Nick Stevens, 6 disposals for the quarter, 10 for the night.
3 goals apiece in this third term.
Roughhead. Out on the full to add to his tally of behinds.
Just the 9 disposals too for Jared Roughhead. They'd love to get him into the game a little bit with this last quarter and a bit to go. Looks out of form for mine at the moment.
Chris Judd coming up for his quarter century of disposals for the night. 25 touches. That is straight to his direct opponent, Brad Sewell.
And you can see you're not happy.
He's had a stellar season, hasn't he? Is he an outside chance for the Brownlow, Chris Judd?
I think statistically, if you look at his Brownlow year to this year, statistically it stacks up, Hutto.
Yep. We know he's a vote getter, that's for sure. From a step and a half, Brad Sewell lands a goal for Hawthorn.
See how disappointed with himself Chris Judd is. An absolute perfectionist in the game, and he plays at a level that you almost have this fascination when he does make a mistake, because they're so few and far between. The turnover that every player in the game has done, we just don't see him do it that often. But as you just mentioned, his impact on the Carlton Footy Club this year is just as big as you could possibly imagine.
Here's the battle for the Coleman medal. Franklin 101, Favola 6 behind. I think Fev would be happy to concede the medal now. He just wants that 5. Another one would be very handy before 3/4 time. Rioli, somehow got through again to Hodge, who'll be run down just as he kicked, stopped the toe. Good tackle, Franklin on Bauer. Umpire lets it go. Franklin again. And he's got a point.
He doesn't mind having a flying shot, does he?
3-3 to Franklin tonight.
Again, the Cyril Rioli pickup, we're just looking at Jared Waite running down Luke Hodge there, but the pickup before that from Cyril Rioli was just so clean.
Geez, been good Rioli tonight. 6 inside 50s. Setting up many scoring opportunities for Hawthorn. 15 disposals. Bryce Gibbs, he's also had 25 disposals. That too wasn't a great one. Murphy wades through effectively. Sewell, Lewis and Guerra and Mitchell. And Osborne's loose.
How often do you see Sam Mitchell kick on his left foot nowadays?
Yeah, more than his right.
Yeah, he just tends to go left side more than ever before, and he's very, very competent. We're having a look at a bit of vision of Cyril Rioli getting that handball out.
Maybe it's a disease at Hawthorn.
I know in the past, actually, previous coach was worried that he did it too much and was instructed sometimes not to do it. This is Osborne. It's coming back, but not enough.
Hawthorn by 49. Gibbs again up the middle. Marked by Walker, back to Gibbs. 13 touches this quarter for Gibbs. His target was Cruiser. Rioli again. He has just pickpocketed the Blues about 5 or 6 times tonight. Hodge on the right boot, that's why he kicks with his left. Bit harsh, I know. Well done by Murphy. He put his body on the line there and was rewarded. Hodge up to 26 for the Hawks as their leading possession getter in the match so far. Chance Bateman was hemmed in the pocket. Off the ground, Osborne, that's a goal. It's a man having a good night. Drink in each hand. And Chance Bateman squared it up. And the 2 big men flew. Osborne doing the roving off the ground with the left boot.
Left shin almost, wasn't it?
Yeah.
going to be an interesting week at the selection table coming out of this game for Hawthorn. Got so many good players in form, whether Shane Crawford's available next week. I reckon Cameron Stokes is a player they'd love to get into the side, even though he hasn't played every game this year. So I'm not sure who will go out and who will come in, but pretty good side to crack into at the moment, Walls, isn't it?
They're playing really well. It's a good way to go into the finals. You think about what we saw from the Kangaroos today and Collingwood last night compared to this.
The blitz continues. Chance Bateman, come on down. Didn't he enjoy that?
Well, they just love him at Hawthorn. He's so highly respected. The work rate is sensational.
"20 disposals and taking care of Nick Stevens. Not a bad night's work, is it?"
Yeah, absolutely. He'd be pretty disappointed, Brett Ratton, with what he's seen tonight, because big build-up. This was really Carlton's final, if you like, the last game of the year. So much interest in the game, and we talk about Fev kicking 8 goals. That the Blues are struggling to kick 8 goals themselves. Haven't been quick or slick enough in the middle. Murphy's been down, Stevens has been down, Simpson hasn't done enough.
We know they're great finishers, Carlton. They've kicked the most goals in the AFL this year in fourth quarters. They've won matches 5 times coming from behind, but the margin's just too much, 61 points. But I'm sure their coach, Rob, will be wanting to finish full of running in the 4th term.
Yeah,
that'll be his message.
Look, it's been a year where there's been marked improvement. You know, Murphy and Gibbs in particular. Cruiser coming into the side first year. Ruck division's down, they know that.
Young has a couple of bounces. Franklin led a couple of times. That was ignored. Williams from behind. The big fly. Brown almost pinched it out of his hands. Franklin attacks it. Bauer did well. And the Blues out of danger. A few Hawthorn forwards at the moment lining up for goals. And the mark's taken by Anderson.
Something like 18-6, the inside 50s for the quarter. So really dominated. Carlton have been effective when they've gone forward. Can they get it to Fev here? Yes! Well, it was in great hands with Houlihan, wasn't it? Deft touch on the kick. And now Favola with 30 seconds on the clock. He must kick this one.
4th goal for the quarter. Hello?
Can he do it? Brendan Favola. There's more fun to come tonight. He's up to 96. Alex not showing too much emotion yet. But Brendan Favola, 4 goals in the quarter. And that is going to be worth watching in the last term to see if the Blues can give him the opportunity, because he now looks like he's hitting his straps.
And Rollsy, you're onto his body language. He's up, isn't he? You can tell.
Yes.
He's talking a bit more. He's getting over to Chris Judd and a few of the boys saying, "I'm a chance here. Get it to me at every opportunity."
Yeah, the Sads going in the 2nd quarter, no doubt about that. But he's sparked up. He's got 4. He gets another 4 in the last quarter. Wow.
Be a big night on the town. Is he allowed to go out in the town now?
Well, this season's over, isn't it? The final siren.
True. From the bounce. That'll be it at 3/4 time, but all the interest now centres on Brendan Favola, who has 96 next to his name. Franklin up to 101.
And Fev was able to get 4 goals, so if they can get a good supply from the midfield, there's got to be some chance. And I would think that they will keep the forward line pretty open for him.
The ball is deep in attack, but no Fev that time, as the Hawks through Birchall and Hodge. Get out of trouble. Ladson. And they're held up in their tracks for the moment. Sewell and Brown provide the leads. Indecision again. He ran a long way there in the end, Campbell Brown. Set a bit of a task for Gillam, but he's up to it, and the Hawks can now bolt on the other side of the ground. Hodge. Roughhead's going to get some more goal-kicking practice here.
Geez, a good player, Hodge. I know we've said it all night, but he took that ball. He had Chris Judd around him, and he just had the poise and composure, just a steady stop, prop, and put the ball out in front of Roughhead on the lead. Everyone else was a little bit panicky, but not Hodge.
Still looking for his first goal of the night, and number 62 for the year for Jared Roughhead.
Hawthorn by 61. Here's the man Luke Darcy was talking about, Bateman. Stripped of the footy, but Gillam's there.
I don't think anybody on the ground works as hard as Bateman. And his teammates love him for it.
Hodge to Lewis. Kicks in the Franklin direction, and Franklin gets there. He'll be kicking from about 52, 53 metres out.
That won't stop him.
Brad Sewell was calling for the ball about 40 metres away. I don't know why he was wasting his energy.
So there's to be a big wind-up from here. Lance Franklin. Favola watches down the other end. He's kicked 3 goals, 3 tonight. He takes some sort of kick from here to slot it home. Oh, he's going to take on the man on the mark. He makes the angle worse for him. He still has a dip. And it's off hands and through for a point.
Not lacking any self-confidence.
3-4 to Lance Franklin.
He knows why the people are here. That is not a great kick. Gave a good look for Sam Mitchell, which he took nicely.
Clever kick by Sam Mitchell.
If Jared Roughhead ever gets his balance back, he can have a shot for goal.
And just a nice interception. Poor kicking.
Had a dirty night, Nick Stevens, hasn't he? Might have something to think about too when the tribunal have a look at the incident earlier, and he's been beaten by Chance Bateman and not his best night.
Let's watch Jared Roughhead there for his second of the quarter. No dramas there.
That's really good for Jared Roughhead. Getting a couple of goals late in the game. A lot of the focus has always been on Big Buddy Franklin. Forget how important Jared Roughhead is sometimes, and looked like he's been just a little bit out of form. Great for him to get a couple of goals and get his hands on the footy.
Gee, the Hawks are amazing. They don't mind who their defenders play on. Guerra at the moment is playing on Sean Hampson, who is so much taller than him, but they just don't panic, the Hawks. They back themselves with their run and their speed, and have a look at that. Guerra might be indicating to a teammate, hey, come back and take him because he's a bit too big for me. And actually that's happening now, and that's terrific communication. But they don't panic. They're prepared to play on anyone of any size for 3-5 minutes if they need to before they can get the call and cover for themselves.
Free kick to Mitchell for a hold off the ball. Again, he favours the left. Franklin's there, so is Young. Armfield, Rioli over the top, and that'll be a stalemate.
Well, 7 minutes into the last quarter, the Hawks have got the game wrapped up. They'll be playing finals next week. Do you start to think about taking your valuable commodities off and give them a bit of a spell, Luke?
Yeah, I'd be giving that man there kicking the footy, Buddy Franklin, a bit of a rest, and maybe leave Luke Hodge on the interchange for a while as well. Nothing to be gained by a hamstring injury now or a late accident.
Gillen to Birchall. Well, Rob, you've been in this situation as a premiership coach. What would you do?
Yeah, look, I'd start to rotate the real cream, give them a bit of a break. I saw Brent Harvey today for the Kangaroos. He was spelled.
Pfeiffer got it over the top. Favola wants it and demands it and gets it. He's got 3 to go.
Well done, Simpson.
Favola came from nowhere. From absolutely nowhere. He sprinted like Usain Bolt. Got the ball. He's got 3 more to reach the 100.
Well, Cade Simpson was most unselfish. We'll see it here. He can see his mate and says, I'm going to give it to you, Fev.
If he had gone head-to-head with Usain Bolt then, Favola would have won. He sprinted from nowhere, demanded the footy. Fev watch, the counter, clicks up to 97, Anthony.
So it does, Stephen, and the interest remains. 62 points is the margin, but the real countdown now is 3 goals. At the moment, it's 1-on-1 in the Carlton forward line, so Hawthorn aren't crowding with numbers or anything like that. Sewell gives it to Raffed, who's having a bit of a spurt here. Buddy runs back to the goal square looking for a pass, but I don't reckon Jared Raffed's all that interested, I think, in a pass off.
And why not? He's kicked a couple from straight in front. He's got his eye in.
And his confidence is back in front of goal. The goals are flowing at the Dome once again.
Goal number 64 for the season for Jared Raffed. Amazing how much of a shadow that's cast by Buddy Franklin. If he was playing in any other side, we would be talking about the emergence of one of the great power forwards in the game, and we'd probably skip over him a little bit too much. But what a combination it is. Just adds so much to this side, and really, really good player.
Raffed and Franklin have now contributed 165 goals between them for the season, and they're challenging the record held by KB, Kevin Bartlett, and Michael Roach of 170 in the regular season back in 1980.
Judd. Out wide to Bentic. He goes short to Hampson. Only eyes for Favola, and he kicks in Fev's direction. You have to be his very best here to get this one. He can't. Gibbs kicks towards goal and dobs it.
It's a good goal.
Good snap.
I don't know who's booing. Is it the Hawthorn supporters or the Carlton supporters? Because they want Fev to get the goal.
Well-known Carlton fan there in the crowd.
.62 points the margin. Sewell with the clearance. Just play on. Williams, I don't think, was aware of that. Bauer improvised. Williams is down. Around the corner. No, it doesn't go around the corner. Jordan Lewis, who started this game in stellar form, was
Just thinking goal combinations. I'm thinking right back in the records here. I remember back in 1977 when Peter Hudson came back. He kicked 100 goals, did he not, Rob, in 77?
Yeah, I believe he did.
110, and I think Lee Matthews kicked 92 that year from memory. So,
well, maybe the combination is the most since.
But Lee Matthews was an on-baller then.
Just the most recent since. Since 1980. Nitpicker. Did no one else realise that? There's the ball going forward. Hampson at the back of the pack. Guerra. He gets through successfully. A fumble from Birchall. Dispossessed. Fev's waiting for it in the square. One-on-one. He is back there.
Mark Williams coming off. He caught one to the hip only about a minute ago, and be surprised if he came out again, Mark Williams of Hawthorn.
So we're watching Williams, but the Hawks now just pushing one extra off the contest. If they can get it down there, if they can carry it down there, Fev's in the square. He comes out to meet it. They'll handball to it. No, they didn't. Oh, I thought Murphy could have got the handball away. Very easy from here, of course, to say that. And Lewis decides not to concede. Xavier Ellis tries to get it back to Birchall. It was a handball. And the Hawks quite out of danger yet. Murphy. Fev! He's going to need to kick one or two like that, I reckon, because there's so much attention being drawn to him.
He had the right idea. Murphy's given it to him. Gee, it's clever. He's put it on the outside of the right boot. Then he's looked at Scotty McLaren, the umpire, and said, what about a free?
The umpires need to play their part in this, don't they?
Oh, well, Scotty's saying to Fev, your team, they should handball more to you.
Young on defensive 50. Kicks in the Franklin direction. We'll have to beat a couple here. Hawthorn have won 9 of its last 11 against Carlton. It's the first time these sides have played this season, so an imposing record by the Hawks against the Blues. Thornton got Gibbs in the middle. Here we go, over the top is Hampson. Gives it to Stevens. Favola's on short. Favola, yes! He's got it!
Have a look at the Carlton supporters. And well done, Nick Stevens.
Look at that for inside 50 targets, and why wouldn't you? So Brendan Favola for number 6 and number 98 for the season. I'll tell you what, Buddy would just probably want to slot another one home, wouldn't he, just to make sure of that Coleman? He might have to share it.
As well done by Nick Stevens, because there was 3 or 4 Hawthorn defenders getting back into the space. They know where the footy's going. Yeah. They haven't got a sense of the occasion. And there's Brett Ratton just having a look at it. Not too much emotion, but...
I wouldn't exactly say he was jumping out of his skin. Well, we came for the shootout tonight, and we've got it. Fev up to 98. He looked no chance at half-time. Campbell and Cloak. Lewis. Franklin. Oh, he's got a free. Advantage. Oh, he won't be happy with that. Osborne kicks the goal. Franklin's dirty. He'd be happy. The Hawks are now out to a 61-point lead again. And there's going to be, the way the game's being played now, there's going to be a few more goals. So Fev's going to get his opportunity.
Hawthorn by 61. Cloak in the ruck against Campbell. Campbell, beautiful tap to Lewis, to Ladson. And he goes straight up the middle. Kicks to Campbell, to Sewell. Roughhead and Franklin.
Roughhead had a look and saw Buddy was coming and decided to pull out of it.
Well, this will make the Coleman safe anyway. Franklin for goal number 4 this evening. Put it up to 102.
I think we can safely say now he's going to win the Coleman.
We should put Lance Franklin at fullback. That's what we'd like to see, wouldn't it? Let's move Lance to fullback.
Well, Fev played fullback that day against Fraser Gehrig, didn't he?
I reckon we'd like to see that, wouldn't we?
That's lateral thinking, Quarters. Not sure how much support you got for the move here, but anyway.
There's Chris Judd on screen. He's a man with a sense of occasion, Chris Judd. He mentioned during the week that he might have blinkers on going forward. I could just picture him storming through the middle and trying to get Fev Lace out.
Well, they've got 8 minutes 30 to do it. This Hawthorn midfield, though, when it's up and running, with this man to aim for. Buddy, and a look to his teammate, and a look behind, shakes off power, but not before the free kick has been paid. He was just trying to work out whether he could go on his own there. It would have been great stuff. Oh, but Cruiser leaves it behind. Can Carlton fashion it down to the other end? Not for a while anyway. Lewis presses on, sets it up. Buddy Franklin. This nonchalant man on the left boot.
Carlton supporters ecstatic that he's missed down there.
You got the Carlton cheer squad giving it to Franklin at one end and the Hawthorn cheer squad giving it to Favola down the other.
Well, that's a great night out at the Dome.
It was a hot ticket in town this week.
And there's 500 players here from the International Cup watching on. I don't know what they must be thinking, but all in town to play Aussie rules.
There's a free kick downfield going Carlton's way against Rioli.
Fev's got some space at the moment, but the Carlton defenders are getting back very quick.
Well, they've got Gillam on Favola at the moment. Here's Cloak. He goes long. Favola's got a beat a couple. Oh, he attacked it hard. He still might be his chance here. No, he's not. Hawks get numbers back.
He's chasing.
Young.
Like he's never chased before.
To Renoff. He's going to be quick here. He gets it off to Crow.
He's still chasing.
He's still going Favola. He's run a marathon.
He's gone.
And a good mark by Murphy, taking it half back.
Who gets it going again for Hawthorn? Bateman. Franklin's deep. He's ready to go in amongst 3 Blues. Straight to the boundary line there. And it's a throw-in. He might need a little bit of recovery time, Fev. That was 3rd effort, 4th effort, 5th effort. Good effort from Roughhead. I tell you, it's going to go mighty close. It bounces through. Extraordinary goal. He's kicked 4 in the last quarter. That's the sort of over the green that Fev needs. Walker. Thornton. And Another opportunity for the Blues. Bentic, tough ask to try and get the man on the wing. Cloak has to bend the knees. And the ball over and out.
Fev needs 2 goals in less than 5 minutes. Buddy given a spell.
Might be it for him for the night. Fev looking for the arm shot. I'm not sure the video really supports him, but
Here they go.
here they come, storming through the middle. Favola again. It's going to be 2, and he can't. Now, will they hold up? Surely they will. Give it to him, Brad.
He's been held. It's a free kick.
Favola's free.
He's got it. He's got it.
Everybody's getting in on the act.
He knows there's not a lot of time left, Fev. He'll kick this quickly.
99 goals for Brendan Favola. A night of drama at the Dome.
We could not have written the script better.
We are going down to the proverbial wire.
It is a perfect script. 99 with perhaps a minute and a half left. Here's the free kick. He was being held, not by much, but enough for the umpire to blow the whistle.
I wonder how that'll be assessed at the umpire's analysis.
We don't know how much time is left. Favola sits on 99 goals. The crowd prepares itself. They might as well just call the game off if he gets his 100. Down she goes in the middle. Cruz at the tap. Mitchell's in there. Ladson got caught. Bateman, a long ball. Roughhead with strength. Well, that was a strong play from Roughhead, who will line up for his 5th goal of the last quarter.
Well, we've seen a goal-kicking feast, haven't we? Buddy, Fev, Roughhead.
The best result here for Favola is a Roughhead goal.
Quick, get it back to the middle.
So, Roughhead for goal number 5 for the final turn. Well, he's back in form, Luke.
He certainly is. There's Jeff Kennett on the screen. And that is a fantastic result for Jared Roughhead. Kicking 5 in the last quarter, going into the big final next week.
Alex Favola watches on. The final quarter has been going almost 30 minutes.
Have a look. I think the Hawks are loading their backline. They've got Roughhead down there.
That's not in the spirit of the occasion, is it? They have to.
You can feel the buzz around the Dome.
They need the percentage, Rob.
Maybe there's
Well, that just shows how miserable Hawthorn are.
one more chance for Brendan Favola. Sewell gets it out of the middle. The crowd will tell you what they think of that. Osborne takes the mark.
99 goals, Brendan Favola.
Like being stranded on 99 not out, isn't it, in cricket? And the captain declares. Osborne gone 30, almost 31 minutes. Michael Osborne, again the best result for Carlton is a goal. It is, so they'll get another crack at it. 24 goals to 12 for the night in front of 49,000 people.
Well, the only last piece of the script that's left is Favola to mark and the siren sounds.
Yeah, it could happen.
Just look out for Chris Judd here. I reckon it's got his name written all over it. A centre square break. Get his hand on it.
We've been looking at the record books. We don't think there has ever been a player in football history in the AFL, VFL that's finished on 99 goals.
Well, the Hawthorn runner's gone out to Roughhead. Roughhead's been standing and now he's moved away.
That is good.
Wow, that's a lovely spirit, isn't it?
In the middle, Campbell the tap. Stevens was being held. He's got it out to Cruiser. Cruiser to Favola. Favola, no, free kick. Free kick. It's a free kick to Hawthorn. It's a free kick to Hawthorn.
Oh, no.
Against Brendan Favola.
He definitely got a free, but
So Guerra,
He's going to do a Joel Bowden.
concedes a behind for tackles, but
Someone's going to send the runner out to the umpire, don't they?
the Hawks will be out to waste a bit of time here. The umpires are keen, I reckon. They're just looking for anything.
Murphy in the back pocket. Fev back in the square. Judd will try and will it down. He's got the mark.
What a great effort.
Chris Judd.
He's willed himself to get there with a certain mark to the Hawks.
One last go against all the odds. It's not to be there.
Get up,
giving
Fev.
up.
Get up, Fev.
There's still a chance because Waite might take this. No! So near and yet so far for Fev. A great night's entertainment. 99 for Favola. But this is the man, Buddy Franklin. 100 goals for the season, and the Hawks are getting ready for the finals.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.